Hey everyone, when it comes to youth sports, we all know a great season is about so much more than just drills and wins, right? It's really about creating an environment where young athletes can actually thrive. So today, we're going to break down the blueprint for building that powerful environment right from the ground up. Great sessions happen by design. That one word, design, that's the whole key. It implies that you're being intentional, you have a structure, you have a purpose. It's really the difference between just showing up to run some plays and consciously crafting experiences that build not just skill, but real confidence and character. And that kind of intentional design, it always begins with your why. Before you even think about a single drill, you have to get clear on your coaching philosophy. Think of it as the compass that guides everything else you do. Now, a coaching philosophy is so much more than just a paragraph you write down once and then forget about. No, it's this living, breathing set of values that guides every single decision you make. It's your anchor in those tough moments, making sure your coaching is always consistent and purposeful. A really effective philosophy, it kind of rests on three main pillars. First, it has to be built on fun, because let's be honest, enjoyment is what keeps players coming back for more. It also needs to foster learning, so athletes can feel that tangible sense of progress. And of course, it has to include challenge, because that's where the real growth happens. When these three are working together, in harmony, you create this amazing environment where kids just want to get better. Oh man, this gets right to the heart of it. A philosophy isn't about what you say, it's about what your players feel. They absorb your commitment to fairness, to effort, and to teamwork just by watching your actions day in and day out. Okay, so once you've got that philosophy locked in as your foundation, you can shift from the why to the how. And that's all about designing a development path that becomes a practical blueprint for growth. I mean, this is pretty clear, right? The needs of a 10-year-old are just worlds apart from a 17-year-old's. For the little U10s, the focus is all on coordination and just discovering the joy of competition. By U14, you're layering in tactical awareness and emotional control. And then by U18, it's all about leadership, accountability, and performing within a system. A one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work. It doesn't respect the journey. And this right here, this might be the most important virtue in player development: patience. Probably the biggest mistake a coach can make is rushing to complex tactics before an athlete has really mastered the fundamentals. You have to build that foundation first. That technical skill is what unlocks all the tactical brilliance later on. So what does a great session actually look like in practice? Well, here's a blueprint that just flat out works. A great practice has this natural rhythm. You start with activation to get bodies and minds firing. Then you move into focused skill development to build that foundation. From there, tactical games start translating those skills into game-like situations, before a conditioned game simulates real pressure. And then finally, a cool down with reflection. This part is so crucial. It helps the brain actually process and hold on to the day's lessons. This structure isn't random. It's designed for max learning and engagement. All right, we've covered the philosophy and the physical plan. But the best coaches out there, they understand that the game is also won between the ears. The mental and emotional environment you create is absolutely critical. It's the X factor. You have to think about mental skills just like physical skills. They need to be coached intentionally. We're talking about focus, the ability to reset after making a mistake, confidence that's built through preparation, emotional regulation to stay calm when the pressure's on, and resilience, which is really the art of bouncing back. These are not just nice-to-haves. They are core components of a truly complete athlete. And hey, that mental environment, it doesn't stop with the coach. It extends all the way to the parents on the sideline. A supportive approach asks, "Did you have fun?" and praises the effort. A pressure-filled approach just obsesses over, "Did you win?" Parents become such an incredibly powerful part of the team when they reinforce the process, not just the final outcome. Ultimately, it all comes down to this. 10 years from now, an athlete isn't going to remember one specific cone drill you ran, but they will never forget how you made them feel, whether they felt supported and valued and safe enough to fail. Your true, lasting impact is always emotional. So let's tie all of this together. We've looked at the philosophy, the planning, and the mental game. Now we get to see how they combine to achieve the ultimate purpose of what great coaching is all about. Here it is, the big idea. Your role isn't to be a drill sergeant, it's to be an architect.
You are literally designing an environment where things like creativity, confidence, and purpose can just flourish. The drills, they're just the tools. The environment is the masterpiece.
So let's lock in these core principles. First, always balance your structure with plenty of room for creativity. Understand that communication is the glue that holds everything together. Make sure every single session has a clear purpose. And, maybe most importantly, frame mistakes as data for improvement, not disasters that need to be punished. And this is the ultimate payoff. This is your legacy. Coaching with intention goes so far beyond the sport itself. You're not just developing athletes, you're shaping thinkers who can problem solve, teammates who know how to collaborate, and resilient young people who will carry these lessons with them long after they hang up their cleats. So, we'll leave you with this to reflect on. When it's all said and done, what is the one thing you want your players to remember from their time with you? What are the lessons they're going to carry into their lives? Because that is the true measure of your impact.